That's right, Ark Survival Ascended, coming soon. No release date, no information as to when we can get our hands on the game and start playing it and building for ourselves. There is, however, a lot of information that was put out on Xbox Wire website and a trailer. Of course, I'm sure you're all here to watch the trailer. We have just got our first taste of what it's going to look like in Unreal Engine 5, and I'm going to tell you, I can't be more excited. This game looks amazing in Unreal Engine 5, and all of the different mechanics that they have used and made taken full advantage of within the game, within the system. I'm super excited for it. I can't even talk. So let me show you the trailer, and then we'll get into all of the other stuff. So, a lot to unpack there. We'll go back over that and talk about some of the things that we saw as it pertains to things here. So, as if you clicked on the QR code that was presented when Xbox first showed the trailer during their Xbox preview, you get to this page. This page starts off with a lot of the information we've already seen. So nothing too crazy except for a screenshot here. And then we get down to they're talking about modding. Now, they've talked about modding before, so nothing new, but this is the first time we're seeing an image of what the in-game UI will look like for the mods. So it's kind of exciting. It does say the new in-game CurseForge mod browser, which will be directly accessible from the main menu of the game, will soon be filled with new structures, dinos, maps, decorative pieces, and game modes. Soon be filled. So that kind of brings up a couple of questions in my mind. Going further on, it says, we're also working closely with professional game studios and developers to bring their original content and IP, intellectual property, to Ark Survival Ascended to make it the ultimate gaming modding ecosystem, and expect to have announcements with some of those partners very soon. So some more waiting. Like I said, this will soon be filled, and working closely with professional game studios to bring their original content and IP. So I don't know if that means things like Pokemon, like we've seen with Ark Survival Evolved in the past for the mods to turn all the dinos into Pokemon. That might be kind of cool if they actually work with them and get that done instead of just a mod, because if they make it official, they have to then pay royalties, and we all know Wildcard is broke, Snail Games is broke, so they're not going to be paying anybody anything. So this is interesting to me, but it also means that it kind of is a little bit of a letdown, because I was really hoping for a lot of mods to be available day one based off of previous things that the devs have said, where they said they've been working with mod creators to get their mods ready for ASA. So I assumed there would be a lot going on. So far, I'm only seeing the one, Dwarven Builders. I don't even know what that is. I have not seen that, so that really sounds interesting to me. But anyway, I don't see anything else here. And why would you showcase a UI that's supposed to be a bunch of mods with only one mod, if you had more mods, that is. So if you've only got one mod, why are you showing that right now? They do say at launch you'll be able to start making your own mods by heading to the Epic Launcher and downloading the new Ark Dev Kit. That's interesting too, because as someone who has recently gotten into game development and graduated from school for game development, I'm interested in doing some modding. So this is interesting to me, and I'm excited to see that. But it says at launch, and again, we're waiting because they've not given us a date of when launch is going to be. They go on to say about how easy it's going to be. That's yada yada yada. It's not a big deal. That's all stuff they've said before. So I'm not trying to rehash things that have been said. It does say that the old game had around 30,000 mods available, and we're pretty confident that this will grow with Ark Survival Ascended. So does that mean that those 30,000 mods are moving over to Ark Survival Ascended, or how is that going to work? That part is confusing to me as well, because if it's going to grow from 30,000, that would make sense. But if it's starting from zero, it has no choice but to grow. So that's confusing. The wording sometimes is just not always the best with these guys. Given its cross-platform nature, consoles having access to the mods and creators being empowered by the new revolutionary Unreal Engine 5 technology. It is exciting. It is definitely exciting to be able to work in Unreal Engine 5 and make mods for the new Ark. So time will tell. We'll just have to wait and see. We don't know what's going to happen, so no sense in speculating further on that. Now, this is what I'm most excited for. It says bringing Unreal 5 tech to the world. Now, there's a lot of new technology that came out with Unreal Engine 5, and then they moved to Unreal Engine 5.1, then to 5.2, and now there's 5.3 out. 5.3 works more along the lines of like getting into things of like metahuman and other facial features and stuff like that. From what I understand, I kind of fell out of the know when they released 5.3. I just didn't keep up because I'm still learning 5.1 and 5.2. So Lumen, however, is an amazing lighting feature within Unreal Engine 5. So Lumen will be a game changer. It talks about imagine riding your raptor through the jungles of the island and experiencing a more lifelike world. Sunlight and moonlight filter through the dense tree lines, bouncing off water surfaces, torchlights illuminating the insides of the caves, and bases adapting to light based on whether you've opened or closed a window, and all of the dynamic lighting adjusting based on how you play the game. So that's like this image right here. You see how the light moves as they're moving around? I think that's what they're trying to showcase here. So all this different lighting moving around. So that's going to be awesome. It's going to be a game changer. No more weird shadow lines on the ground as the sun is going down or as you're coming out of the woods. Nanites. Nanites is a huge game changer as far as performance. It allows us to use incredibly high detailed assets directly within the game, which get scaled and streamed onto graphics processor in real time, tremendously increasing the visual fidelity of ASA. Imagine more environmental details, including realistic rocky textures, accurate tree patterning, and flourishing fauna. You'll be able to construct highly detailed bases using the improved structure tile sets, and of course, tame, tame, sharper looking details. Frankly, everything looks better, and secondly, it really saves our development time as Nanite eliminates the need to generate separate level of detail meshes and enables us to use the original high resolution source meshes directly in game. So, level of detail, if you remember from the original, from Ark Survival Evolved, there was always these updates coming out that were talking about, oh, we changed the LOD, we adjusted the LOD of this. LOD basically, when you tame something and it looks like Play-Doh, it's all just big blocky blobs of polygons. That's the LOD screwing up and not recognizing that you're as close as you are to that dino. It's the level of detail. It's supposed to go down the further away you are so that it's not having to render all of those textures in. So it saves on performance of the game. What they're talking about here is it's always going to have this texture. It renders in from the second that the dino spawns, and it doesn't. It's not going to hurt it. It's amazing. Nanites are a game changer, and they were the biggest reason for any game developer to switch to Unreal Engine 5. That was one of the biggest reasons. Chaos Engine. The Chaos Engine is absolutely amazing. If you look in the video, there was a couple times here toward the end. Let's see if I can find it here real quick. Like right here when the guy is blowing up the base. Watch see how it destroys, how it falls. And now watch when this Rex hits the tree. Watch at the base of the tree where it gets broken. How it falls across like that. That is the Chaos Engine at work. Basically, you can say where you want it to break, how many pieces you want it to break in, how many additional pieces you want those pieces to break into when they fall, and it will just create the crumbles for you, and then they have a lifespan, so they can go away over time. So it works out amazing for just destruction of anything in any game. So their take on it is Chaos is a physics destruction system that simulates, wow, that's a lot of S's, that simulates complex and large-scale destruction in real time. So when you're raiding a base, blasting it with your rocket launcher, or crushing it with the sheer force of a Tyrannosaurus Rex bite, it will look more dynamic and realistic when those bases crumble and scatter around you. The other added benefit of Chaos is that it has allowed us to remove the legacy physics systems from the game, as we can rely on this new system entirely, which means no more frustrating ragdolls. Gone are the days of hunting a creature and seeing its corpse floating into the abyss. Instead, we've implemented realistic death animations and knockout animations on all creatures. That's awesome. To me, that's a lot of work. That's what I hear. That's a lot of work that's gone into every single creature, because I think there's like 150 or something creatures. I don't remember the exact number, but it's up there. And that's a lot of work to do death and knockout animations on every single creature. That's crazy. Instance-based rendering. This basically just means that you can make bigger bases. Says this is a huge one. What do you love to do? Create massive bases, villages, and towns? Basically, place down as many structures as you can fit into an area. This would have seriously affected client performance in the old game, because it would have had to render basically everything, and it did. It absolutely, you remember large bases, it would lag you out, sometimes crash you out of the game. With instance-based rendering, you only pay the cost on your frames for the one structure piece, meaning one wooden wall on screen has the same client impact on performance as 100. Your game will be running a lot better in your giant bases. That's amazing. That also means no more waiting for a base to render around you. No more flying into a base and happen to get past the render wall, and it renders around you because now you're inside of an enemy base. Now, granted, they changed all that because of the movement speed. That's a whole other story. But it's not even possible now. So that's amazing. And then they talk about the fluid and the foliage systems. We saw that a little bit in the beginning when they were walking through the forest here. You watch them walk, and you see well, I didn't go back far enough. I apologize. So as they're walking, you see the bushes moving as they're walking through them. I, they're trying to showcase every one of their new things that they've added in this video. So basically, it says the fluid and foliage interaction system have been critical in delivering a more realistic, immersive, and dynamic world. We've tried to make it so that just about everything has a way of interacting with the foliage and fluids in the world. That's interesting. That means your survivor running through the grass, creatures wading through streams, or explosives and other items will cause a visible physical reaction in the game world. These interactions dynamically adjust based on various factors such as size, velocity, or impact of what they're interacting with. So if you're running through a stream with a Spino splashing at Coelacanth in shallow waters, expect to see a lot of water displacement, ripples, foam, splashes, and water droplets flying into the air around you. The same can be said about foliage too. Ride a raptor through the tall grass and see how each blade gently reacts as you move forward. Or as a brontosaurus flatten the earth beneath their feet and brush aside the leaves on the tall branches of a tree. It's going to be interesting to see all of this happen and watch it. It's just going to be an amazing show at first. So I just can't wait. They go on further to talk about just how there's so much more to cover, and there's quality of life changes, new DLC coming. They're talking about seasonal events. Over time, we're releasing 11 brand new creatures, which we've all basically voted on. We already know about those. There's just a lot more going on here toward the end. It's just all stuff that they've talked about. But there's an interesting one here that talks about the third-person camera for players and creatures with the additional per-creature customization and flexibility. So, per-creature customization and flexibility of the camera. So, I don't know if that's something that you can... It sounds like you're going to be able to move the camera where you want it for the creature, because it's customization. So, it's not that it's already there. It sounds like you might be able to move it. I don't know. Again, I've got the information that's given in front of me. I don't want to speculate too much here. There's just all kinds of cool stuff going on here. So they're talking about the advanced dynamic navigation for intelligent creature pathfinding. So the AI, like when something's chasing you. And they even go further to say, so no more running into walls of your base, but running away from carnivores just got tougher. So you might not be able to outrun or trick a raptor by running around a rock or off a cliff or something. That part is going to be a game changer. That's going to change the difficulty of the gameplay on both sides of PvP and PvE. So that's going to be interesting. I can't wait to see that. Character customization options, unique color sets, quality of life improvements, new split screen multiplayer functionalities, audio revamping. Hopefully they fixed the blaring, ear-bleeding menu music. New gameplay features, items, and structures, changes to existing items and creatures, and essentially every inch of the island has been redesigned and much more. And we saw that in the video where you see different parts of the island that, like, I don't even recognize this. And I know the island inside and out. If somebody knows this location, please tell me where this is supposed to be. I'm thinking about it, and I'm racking my brain. I don't know where this is, unless they've added this into the island. I don't recognize this at all. Could be that I'm just not thinking correctly, but it doesn't look familiar to me. So, interesting. Lastly, they finish off by saying, key thing to remember is that Ark Survival Ascended will include all its previously released DLCs and maps in its remade form and will have its own content roadmap. So that means that when you purchase Ark Survival Ascended, you're going to get all of those DLCs when they release for free. So things like Ragnarok, Lost Island, Crystal Isles, Valguero, Fjordur, all of those free ones, the previously released DLCs. Now the roadmap lays out, it's going to lay out exactly when all of that's going to come out, and it's also going to lay out when the other maps, the other story maps like Aberration, Extinction, Gen 1, Gen 2 are all, and Scorched Earth, of course, when all of those are coming, so that we know exactly when they're going to come. Lastly, Thank you so much for your support over the last 8 years, and we can't wait to continue to grow its universe with you, bringing you, bringing you more of what you love about Ark. We're also excited to see what you're able to create with the powerful new cross platform modding tools. And don't worry, there's still a lot more on the horizon about Ark 2 and Ark, the animated series. See you all soon, once again, on the island, survivors. It's funny that they would throw that in there at the end because they think that we forgot about Ark 2. Some people may have forgotten about the animated series, but I have seen on Discord where there's been a few people have been asking about it because we were promised it, and it's almost like they forgot about it because we haven't heard anything about the animated series in months. So this is like one of the first things that they've said. So this is interesting, but I like that they tossed it in there. Still a lot on the horizon with those two, so they're still working on them. They're still going strong, but it is wild card. So don't hold your breath. It'll come. It'll be there eventually. I'm super excited about Ark Survival Ascended. I can't wait. I hope to see you all there. Thanks for watching. My name is Mr. Trickster, and I'll be doing this as often as I possibly can and get as much content out there as I can. I'm just getting started. I will put my information to socials in the description of this video. Please come see me, come say hi, come follow me on Twitch whenever I'm streaming, because I will be streaming ASA when it comes out. Again, thank you for watching. Until next time.